I never want to see those pictures. I sort of knew that if I looked at those pictures, that the images would be burned in my memory until the day I died, and I didn't want to have my last memory of my brother to be these awful pictures with an axe embedded in his face.
The Daniel Morgan murder, the most investigated murder in British history. A series of interviews with Alistair Morgan on his shocking 30-year journey.
He was attacked in the car park from behind, and I read the pathology report, and I could see that how they'd attacked him, that they'd first of all attacked him from behind, struck him from behind, and then as he fell down, he was struck on the top of his head with the axe, and then he fell on his back, and then while he was lying on the ground, obviously this final blow was dealt, which was just, it completely severed his brain stem. It was just frightful.
Within 2 years of Daniel's murder, Alistair knew he was facing a massive cover-up when he received a letter from the Police Complaints Authority.
Something like, there's no evidence whatsoever of police involvement, blah, 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 something like that.
But despite recalcitrance from the authorities, Alistair made a solemn vow to his dead brother.
And I can remember I walked out of my flat where I lived in this little village, really, in Hampshire, and there was a level crossing very close to my door, and I walked over the level crossing, and I can remember looking up the road and thinking, I'm going to get the people who did this to you, Daniel. I'm going to get them arrested, and I'm going to expose the corruption that I've seen here. I swear I'm not going to rest, until I've done that.
By the early 90s, Alistair felt the cover-up was so extensive, he trained to be a journalist in the belief that only the media could help.
The press, the media, would expose something like this because the system had failed me completely on every level. This is how I felt. The system has failed me on every level. What is there left?
Little did he know at the time, but the men suspected of involvement in Daniel's murder had, by then, formed a lucrative partnership with Rupert Murdoch's best-selling News of the World.
One of the big questions that remains now after 29 years is what exactly was the role of the Murdoch press in this case? How far does it go? How deep does it go? And when I look at it, all the indications are that I think, oh my God, this does not look good.
So now Alistair faced another obstacle, the press itself. Southern Investigations, the private detective company at the heart of the alleged murder, worked extensively on the dark arts with other journalists on Fleet Street. Few papers would touch his story.
Slowly but surely, public awareness is growing. I would say, precious little thanks to... Well, there have been some people in the media who have been doing a good job on this. But I still don't think it's had anything like the attention it deserves from the mainstream media.
In this 6-part podcast, In Conversation with Me, Alistair will reveal the many obstructions to telling the truth about his brother's murder.
I know that there are people out there that do not want us or me to poke around in this and dig deeper.
With your support, Alistair will finally reveal the truth. In his own words, he will show how the implications of his brother's murder reach from the top of the Metropolitan Police through the chief figures in our media to the doors of number 10 Downing Street.
I'm sitting here 29 years, 3 decades after this killing, this murder. The questions are still as disturbing and upsetting to me now as they were, and even bigger than they were 29 years ago when Daniel was killed.
Support their project on byline.com.